Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another interview with a really incredible business owner who I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. And this is something I am absolutely fascinated about because it's very, very relevant to me. So I'd like to welcome Denise, who is passionate about helping women sleep better and find joy once more, particularly in those people in the business and corporate world, because sleep seems to be a bit of an epidemic at the moment. And so many people can't sleep, but yet they don't know how to get the help and they don't believe that they can get their problem solved. So, this is what we're going to be talking about today. Denise, welcome. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much, Naomi, and hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Brilliant. Let's just start. Just tell people a bit about yourself and why you do what you do.
Mm. So I'm a cognitive behavioral hypnotherapist, which means I do talking therapy, if that makes sense, and hypnotherapy together. And I come at it from an evidence-based approach. I have trained as a hypno-CBT, as we call it for short. Before that, I have spent about 18 years in corporate marketing in different roles, different companies, different locations around the world. And now I dedicate myself to helping women worry less and sleep better.
Brilliant. Have you noticed then, since being in this space, that this kind of series of worry and series of less sleep, particularly women who are looking to grow their careers, maybe grow their businesses, has got worse over time?
I have to say that the things sleep wise have gotten worse since the beginning of COVID. And as you rightfully pointed out, it's like an epidemic. Sleep has been sacrificed and, battered to annihilation for a long, long time. But since COVID, actually, the numbers are becoming even worse in the UK and in the world. And especially for women in their careers, because they have to juggle more things. Some of them are mothers, some of them are going through perimenopause, menopause, and so on. Others are trying to, look after the elderly. So I think there is more heavy, load on women because they have to juggle so many hats. But that's not to say that before COVID, everybody was sleeping fabulously fine. No, it just got worse since then.
What do you think was it, COVID wise, changed that and maybe accelerated the numbers of people just doing more things or juggling more or carrying, like you say, more weight with them all the way?
I think there is a combination of things. Sleep issues don't tend to happen in isolation, they come as part of a package, so to say. And what definitely brought us during those years of COVID and now post COVID is anxiety, worry in general, worry about everything all the time. It's not a specific kind of worry. Or also this dysregulation that happens in the nervous system. Obviously, COVID was a very difficult time because there was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of worry about what the future is going to look like. Am I going to get sick? Are my people, my friends, my family going to get sick or die? And that sparked this, let's call it the stress response, right? So in the body, we have the nervous system that is fight or flight, which is intensity, or rest and digest, which is calm and peaceful. And typically we go through both. We're on off, stressed, relax. But since COVID, it feels like more and more people are staying in that stress throughout, and there isn't enough of the regulation happening as it was before.
I wonder why that is, because we know that looking after ourselves, and obviously these are women who are very driven, they're very, very much looking for the next step and getting better, improving, trying to make sure all the wheels stay on the bus at any one time. Yet there seems to be this kind of culture of they put themselves at the very bottom of the pile of looking after. So, what do you think has maybe changed? What do you think is going on that means that people are thinking, I need to take less priority over making sure everyone else is okay before myself?
Exactly what you've just said. I need to make sure everybody else is fine before I can look after myself. And it's this idea that came, I think, stemmed from this hustle culture, especially in corporate settings where in burnout was worn as a badge of honor. Have you slept last night? No. Do you have insomnia because of all the stress you're under? Yes. It was like you're doing the right thing, right? And it was celebrated. And now I feel like that is still lingering, this badge of honor that I need to make sure everything is fine. My work is fine. My kids are fine. My family is fine. Everything, everything, everything. And I'm at the very bottom of the list. That I feel was encouraged for many, many years now. Obviously, when you are a mom and you're looking after a family, that is implied. However, what I like to remind people is that, as they say in the airplane, you have to put your own oxygen mask first. Because if you don't have oxygen, you're not very helpful to other people. So it's a matter of shifting that mindset from I'm at the bottom and I will only have time when I have time. Typically, nobody has time, right? They will always say that. To, okay, I can do something, even if it's 5 minutes, which will be for my own benefit and my own self-care.
Yes, I love that advice. And it is hard. You know, people carry around guilt, don't they, that they can't put themselves first. But like you say, the end result actually is it's detrimental to everything going on around you. So even if it's just a small period of time, it's so important to make sure you take that time to look after yourself.
Mm.
What are you seeing? So what sort of patterns are you seeing then? What are the behaviors that are happening as a result of people maybe taking on that anxiety, that lack of sleep? What's actually happening to people?
There are so many things. Honestly, sleep or the lack of sleep affects every aspect of your life. There isn't one aspect of your life that thrives on less sleep, or when you're struggling with insomnia, or just generally sleep deprivation because you don't have enough hours in the night. And that means everything from your cognitive performance. So, how can you take decisions? How do you feel about uncertainty, overwhelm, focused, whether or not you're struggling with brain fog? All of that cognitive side, it's impacted. Then you have the emotional side, your moods, irritability. Some people experience very low moods. Others are extremely like wired all the time and they feel like I can never stop. I cannot get out of the rat race. Then you have to think about food and hydration. Many people experience lack of appetite, or actually more appetite, feeling like they have to overcompensate because they didn't have enough sleep. And metabolically, we tend to do that because our brain is telling us, I need something to keep me going. And then hydration, for whatever reason, there is a connection there with how much water we are taking on, right? How much we are drinking every day. But it goes far beyond that. It goes into, how does your skin look like? How do you see yourself in the mirror, those so-called dark circles, or whether people, pick it up next day and say, oh, you look very tired, or your skin loses the plumpness. If you have a skin condition such as eczema, psoriasis, you probably see a flare up in that. So this missing piece, which is very important, sleep, doesn't just affect one area, it affects everything. And it affects even your dental. So how many cavities you may or may not have, how your mouth is healthy or unhealthy. It affects your libido. It affects everything. And that's why I want to make the emphasis of just getting better sleep quality and quantity can have a drastic impact across everything else that you're doing, on your muscle recovery if you're going to the gym, on how you look in the mirror. I'm not saying whether you're thin or a little bit plumpier. It's just how you feel in your body definitely changes.
Oh, this is so fascinating. And actually, as someone who has always had a bit of a battle with sleep my entire life, as my mum, as I was saying to you just before we came on, my mum likes to remind me that I never slept through the night until I was 5 years old. So I've always had that since a child. And in my younger years, I can manage having very little sleep or very broken sleep. But as I've got older, I find this is very, very difficult to kind of manage. And even though I'm probably very typical to people that come to you and say, I haven't been able to sleep for 40 years. I'm getting less sleep now. I'm finding it harder. I'm getting brain fog. What would your best advice to be someone like me who's kind of lived with this for a very long time? So there is an urgency to fix it, but it's something I've got used to. So where would I can see that it's a problem, but the belief of actually transforming that and being able to sleep when I haven't had that before, what would you say to someone like me who's in this position?
How would your life look like if you were rested and refreshed in the morning?
Oh, powerful. I love that. Yeah.
How would it
Better.
look like? How would it feel like? Would you sprint out of bed? Would you be like, yes, I'm focusing on my business today? I would start by painting the picture. I know you may not have had it, you personally or others listening in, but just imagine, how would it be? How would it feel to have the proverbial, sleep like a baby the night through? How would that be? Because today, you know the reality of today. You know that you are probably okay with 5 hours of sleep. You're probably functioning, right? But what if it was 6? What if it was 7? And start to paint a picture, because initially, what I tend to do with all of the people that I work with is to sprinkle doubt, i.e., it doesn't have to be like this, something can change, and nurture hope, what it would look like if it was changed, rather than, oh, do a little bit of sleep hygiene or routine or this or that. Many people know about these things today, not many put them into place. But instead of starting from the the tips and tricks, I would just ask you to imagine, how would it feel like? How would your life be like?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I think it's really powerful. And for someone who's maybe not getting that kind of rested feeling and struggles to get out of bed in the morning, that just seems such a far away thing to be able to achieve. So I'm going to ask a different kind of question here. For
Sure.
someone that's maybe always struggled with sleep, and like, I love the sound of that, that will be brilliant. But is it possible to change even though I've never had, and all the things you've tried over the years, can this actually work for me? I bet that's probably what a lot of people are asking. I've done things, I've done the what they say, sleep hygiene, done the relaxation, all of that kind of thing. Do you think you can get the results for someone like me that maybe has always struggled with sleep?
I think the results can be achieved, whether they are with me particularly or in general, looking at sleep as a broader kind of field, going to your GP or a medical specialist in this area. I think it can be achieved, because sleep as a consequence or as a cause is not singular, as I was trying to say, right? So it can be a direct relation between stress, nervous system dysregulation, anxiety, but it can also be medication that you may be on that is actually having an effect on your sleep, which I wouldn't be able to help. You would have to seek medical support for that. Or it might be that it's something, deeper ingrained. It could be that you as a human function very well on 5 hours of sleep. The NHS makes a recommendation between 7 to 9 for adults, but that is not carved in stone. I don't want everybody to go like, I have to get 7 to 9 because otherwise something is wrong with me. No, if you wake up in the morning and you feel refreshed, that is enough for you, right? Coming back to your particular question, I would say yes, change is possible. There is a thing called neuroplasticity. We know we can change our brain. It's highly evidenced and researched. So yes, we can improve our sleep. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Oh, I love that. And I know, because some people be saying, well, I've tried everything and I've done it, but actually it is possible, but you've got to give it a go. And there are no, like you're saying there aren't instant fixes, are there? This is about a long-term strategy, isn't it?
It is long-term strategy and looking at the individual from all the different facets, as I said, because there could be many things there. From my personal experience as a practitioner and from the people that I've seen and those that have sought me for therapy, I know they have changed their way of living and sleeping after 12 years of insomnia, after 6 years of not sharing a bed with a boyfriend or a husband because sleep anxiety was too powerful for them. I know these things happen. I've seen them with my own eyes. I've seen clients coming back and say, oh my God, we went away for holiday for the first time in years and I can sleep.
I
So
love that.
I know it can happen. Obviously, it's not a one-hit wonder. It's not a magical pill that you take once and that's it. You need to look at it holistically and to find the right support system for you, be it a therapist, be it a combination between therapist and the medical doctor or something else, depending on what are the circumstances and why sleep is escaping you.
Brilliant, lovely. At what point do you think that women go, enough's enough now? I have actually got to sort this problem out. What is those kind of triggers where people just go, it's been 40 years now, it's time to change?
Mm. It's typically a nagging question such as, is this it? Is this how it's always going to be? Is this it? Yeah, typically. Or I have seen people come to change for two main reasons. Either the relationship was struggling, so their partner, husband, wife, whomever was saying, we have to do something about it because I no longer enjoy you sleeping in the spare room and me being here by myself. Or it's been impacted, such as work, for example, or being, not feeling good enough to go for a promotion, or feeling like my business is never going to succeed because I'm always, drowsy and I don't really. So it's something that really has been hitting the nail on the head and doesn't tend to be the sleep itself, is the consequence of the lack of sleep that basically rings the alarm. I have had some clients who came to me because although they were doing everything right, they were not losing weight. And we know sleep and weight gain and weight loss are very connected. So that was their triggering thing. It was the weight. It wasn't the fact that they don't sleep. Or as I said, the work or something else externally that was saying, pay attention because it's not right. And then they came and tried to fix it.
I love that. It's so hard to sometimes make that decision, but it's really great to hear this from you, who's seen all of these different situations, that understand that sleep isn't just in isolation, it's part of your whole entire well-being, your body, your mental state, your emotional state, and all these kind of things. For those people that maybe are listening and thinking, okay, that all sounds great, Denise, but I have no idea where to start, what would be one small step you would suggest people would take as a first point of call for them?
Oh, I have so many. And people are individuals as well. I think generally, I would say start by paying attention. Become aware of what is happening. Almost like keeping a sleep diary. And when I say a sleep diary, I'm not referring to the dream side. I'm referring to how many hours did you get of sleep, roughly. How do you feel the next morning? And what did you do before you went to bed? Like gathering data, right? To become our own best detective, to understand what is happening and to see if there is any patterns. For example, if you have a glass of wine every night because it helps you fall asleep, and in the morning when you wake up, you're extremely groggy, I can tell you that that wine has not been helping. It was helping you fall asleep, but it basically disturbed your REM and non-REM sleep throughout the night. And then you can look at it as yourself and say, oh, right, look, this is what is happening in the last 2 weeks. Maybe there is a pattern there. So I will start becoming aware of what is today, how it manifests itself. And then I would say, do one small thing, the smallest. thing that you can improve. Again, it's very difficult to say the one that will work for everyone, because people have different reasons why they can or can't fall asleep or stay asleep. I would say maybe doing your bedtime routine, having something soothing, calming, relaxing just before you head out to bed. Doesn't matter what it is, it's something that fits you. So, for example, for you, I imagine it might be listening to classical music or a particular piece of something that really makes it calming, soothing, relaxing. Do that and see how it goes for a period of time. And don't try to overhaul your whole life. One small thing. And once that has, run its course for a week or two, you can decide whether it's been helpful or not helpful and try something else. But this is, giving this general advice is trying to fit all the humans in one box. And it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And like you say, I think it's all being well kind of going on to chat GPT or Googling, I can't sleep, what do I do next? But like you say, you'll get generalist advice, and actually everybody is individual. What triggers you when it comes to not sleeping will be different to the person sitting next to you. So absolutely love that. Keeping a diary, seeing what's going on, and just like you say, gathering the evidence. Because when we write it down, it really starts to show what's happening. And then you can start to get to the root problem of what's really going on.
And I think it's very important to remind everyone that no matter how much we try, we are extremely subjective when it comes to us. We are super subjective because we tend to believe we are objective. We are not. That's why I say gather the evidence, put it down on paper or in your phone or wherever, so you can see it with your own eyes and you can be like, oh, wow, I didn't realize I'm doing this. That's why nutritionists give diaries and journals for food. Like, again, we think we do something, but seeing it staring back at us, it's very different. And becoming aware does also another thing. It starts to plant this seed of hope, because you probably never done it before in this way. So there is an element of hope that is growing there, thinking, okay, I could change something. I have a possibility to change something. The other thing that I wanted to mention, just as a general thing, some people swear by it. For others, it doesn't work. So keep this in mind. It's not a one-hit wonder. Brain dump. Just before going to bed, putting everything that is in here, in your head, out. Voice note it or write it down. If you can write it down, it would be fantastic. But some people prefer to just send a voice note to themselves. Do that. Don't leave it to, fester in your brain. Just take it out. And if it's really important, just put a deadline to it and say to yourself, this tomorrow morning, I'm going to deal with these emails and I'm going to figure out my finances or whatever it is, that instead of being around in your brain and hitting all those neurological connection over and over and over again, it's out and you have this authority over it and say, look, I see you, I hear you, I'm going to do something about it tomorrow when I wake up.
Oh, I love that. Is such a great tip. That's definitely, it's almost like being Dumbledore, those Harry Potter fans where you kind of take out those thoughts out of your brain. That is exactly what I should be doing. Brilliant. Denise, I could talk to you for absolutely hours, but for those that actually want to find out more about this, find out more about you, where can they find you and connect with you?
Sure. So I am on the regular channels such as Instagram, LinkedIn, and so on. The best place to start would be my website. That is JoySpace Therapy, all in one word.com, JoySpaceTherapy.com. And from there, you can find me in different locations and you can listen to my recordings and sleep meditations and other things. And you get it a little bit more knowledge about sleep in general. And obviously, for those who are struggling with sleep and are listening to this, please know you can change and you can find a solution that will help you sleep better and improve both quality and quantity of sleep. And don't wait. Speak to your GP, speak to friends, family. If you if you're not in the possibility of seeking private help, go to your insurance, do something about it, and make sure that your sleep needs are addressed. Don't think that they will forever be the same, because that is a recipe for disaster.
Amazing. Denise, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank
I will drop
you.
all of your links in the show notes as well, so people can find you and
Thank
connect
you.
with you.
Thank you very much, Naomi. A pleasure.